Okay, I don't know if I just totally took over there.
Ja, nej, förlåt. Och jag tänker att nu såg jag att Julia poppade in i mötet också. Du kan ju också presentera dig lite kort, Julia, som också är med i eventteamet.
Jajamän, Julia heter jag. Kul att vara med här. Jag är marknadsansvarig för Mötesplats Samhällssäkerhet. Så att, ja, hyfsat ny. Jag började i slutet av sommaren, så att det ska bli superkul nu att få vara med på min första mässa. Ja.
Tack, Julia. Perfect. I think I'm going to start because we're 2 minutes in. So again, I just want to say thanks once again for being a part of this meeting. And I just, regarding the structure of this, I'm going to show you, as some of you know, we have a platform from where you're going to administrate your online profile, where you can find your banners, etc. And this platform is called My Easy Fairs. And there's a number of things that you can do in there that I would like to teach you how to do in order to better raise awareness so that you can follow up better, etc. So I will explain these things during the meeting, but then at the end of the meeting, at the end of the presentation, I would like, for those who are responsible, for those who have the login to My Easy Fairs, I would like you to stay with me for like maybe 5-10 minutes so that I can do a demo of how to use the different things that I'm going to talk about in this presentation. And then this is the first of this gathering, but then we will have another gathering like 2 weeks before the event, where we just polish up our knowledge and touch base on some final points, if that's okay. So you'll get a new invitation from me after this meeting for another meeting 2 weeks before the event. Okay, welcome everybody to Mötesplats Samhällssäkerhet. And I was thinking that what we could start with, I guess you're wondering why we're doing this meeting. So I was thinking that that we could kick this session off with looking at why we are actually here today. And the reason why we are here today is to make you prepared, or a word that you're probably quite familiar with in this context is beredskap. I would like to teach you everything that you need to know so that your participation is successful. I haven't been working personally with Samhällssäkerhet with the live edition ever, because we haven't been having it for 5 years. But in the meantime, I have been working with other events. I work with an HR and leadership event, and I do these meetings for our exhibitors, and we see that it's a success for everybody involved to be part of these meetings, because it will make you have a more successful participation, basically. And if you are prepared, it also means that you can get excited, because it's a little bit difficult to be excited if you don't know what you're going into and if you're not prepared for it. So the main goal today, I would say, is to get you excited about the event, but we need to do the preparedness first. Okay? And again, Julia, I can see your cute face looking at me. So please, you can be my moderator and slow me down if I talk too fast. Okay?
Absolut.
Tack, älskling. Bra. So the agenda for today is, what is it that we're actually doing? What is Mötesplats Samhällssäkerhet? Who is there? What the focus is for this edition, what's happening on site. So we're going to be speaking a lot about the exhibition. The most important part of this meeting, because I need to warn you, I have 40 slides, but it's really small slide. It's just a few sentences on each slide, so I'm not gonna burn you out during this hour. But I know it's a lot of information. I know I can talk fast and I can be super overwhelming. But so the part that I ask you to most pay attention to is on how to raise awareness and invite customers, because you are paying to be at this event, but you are not actually paying for the exhibition, for your booth. You are paying for the leads that you're going to get from you're paying for the future business that you will get from this event. And in order for you to get business in a successful way, it's really important that you listen to this part on how to raise awareness and capture leads. Okay. We are also going to look at how you can increase your visibility on site, and then some practicalities. But most of these practicalities, such as like the timetable for moving in and moving out, where to find the restrooms, where to eat, and these kind of things, I think we'll take it on the next meeting, which is the meeting that we'll have 2 weeks before the event, because these things you will forget, and it's good that you know them. So it's good that they are fresh in your mind. If we just start by looking at what is this event, this is Sweden's most important event right now regarding civil safety and total defense. What can we do to protect society and its structure, and what can we do to become more resilient if it's not possible to protect our structure? So this is the focus. The event was established in 2011. I'm sure that some of you in the room know this because some of you in the room have been with us from the start. It used to take place every 2 years, and it last took place 2019. And I don't think it's rocket science to understand why it didn't take place after 2019. I mean, we had the pandemic stopping all form of activity like this one, and then we have the war in Ukraine. So it's been, as you all know, turbulent times, both on a worldwide basis, basically. So we are super excited to come back 5 years later with this product and be able to provide a platform for our community to samverka, to collaborate, because there's no time to waste and collaboration needs to happen. And we want this to happen at Mötesplats Samhällssäkerhet, and we trust it will. Just another quick history with the partners. We do not organize this by ourselves. I just want to make it clear, we are experts when it comes to events. We are not the experts when it comes to security and safety, but we work with experts, thankfully, that do know a thing or two about this, that are helping us put this event together. First of all, I would like to say thank you to our partners, Sveriges Kommuner och Regioner, Hanna Holmen and RISE. And then also a big thank you to our advisory board, because without the advisory board, it would be really difficult to put together an event that really matches the industry. And trust me, it's quite a tricky, complex, as we know, landscape. So it's really nice that we have this group of experts with us to help us navigate in this area. Who is attending the event? This is probably the question that you are most interested in. I haven't translated the titles because I don't dare to butcher some of them. So I left, these are the main titles that we have registered so far. It's security managers, it's strategists, it's preparedness managers, it's coordinators, it's CEOs, it's politicians. I haven't put them there, but it's really a mix. But it's basically everybody who has an interest in protecting Sweden and its structure, preserving the nation, basically. And then if we look at a breakdown of where they are coming from, it's mostly kommuner, it's a few myndigheter, but that's the main titles that, or that's the main areas that they come from right now, is kommuner och myndigheter. Yeah. If you have any questions as I go, maybe just write them down and save them for the end of the presentation. And also, if you write to me, I can't see a thing. The only thing I see is our beautiful Julia and the presentation, just so you know. The focus for this year, I want to talk quite a lot about this. I'm going to try to talk, I've tried to kind of boil it down, but it's really important that you understand why our visitors are coming to the event, why it is that they are buying a conference ticket. And by you understanding that, because why they come is basically challenges. And by you understanding their challenges, you can provide them a more tailored experience when you meet them. And it's really important, I think, for you to understand what it is that they're listening to, because quite a large percentage of the time they will be listening to sessions, although 25% of their time here will be dedicated for networking. So you'll have them in the exhibition. But I think it's really important that you know what they have just listened to when they come and talk to you. So this is why I'm going to put quite a bit of focus on this right now, because the more you know about their needs, the better you can help them. That's not rocket science. And you will know about their needs by knowing about what's on the program, because the program is a reflection of what's going on in society, obviously. So if we look at the overall theme is how to go from ord till handling in Swedish. But what I would like to talk about more is how to walk. Less talk, more walk, because we live in a social-political climate that is pressing. We've got other threats that come with climate change. We've got fires. We've got weather. We've got the översvämningar. We've got gang criminality. There's a lot of things that's happening in society right now that isn't specifically positive. So we can't just talk about how we can be prepared. We can't just look into the future and see how we can best prepare. The future is now, and it's a little bit blowing up everywhere. So we really need to think about how we can take concrete action. Hence the theme at go from ord till handling. The overall themes for day one is Swedish totalförsvar. How do we speed up the development of this? And day two is going to be looking more at the classical samhällssäkerhet. So how do we increase our ability to manage crisis and become a more resilient nation? For those who have been at the event in the past, the event is usually just more pure samhällssäkerhet. But now, with a lot of external pressures or threats, it makes more sense to have look more maybe at the external and internal threats. Hence why the focus is Swedish totalförsvar for day one. If we look at just day one, I just want to break it down so that you can understand what's being covered. And by the way, the program is on the website. So what I show you now is just a taster for what's going to be presented on site. And again, I ask you, please be aware of the program, because this is how you are going to have more meaningful and thoughtful conversations with our visitors. So just day one, Swedish totalförsvar. The moderator there is Ida Texell from Upplandsbro, extremely competent person who we love. So we are going to start the event with Henrik Lanneholm speaking about what does the threat landscape look like? What is the most pressing factors right now for Sweden? We are then going to go into looking at the relationship between Finland and Sweden and how this journey has looked previously and where we would like to go together as a team in the future. Then we are going to be looking at a little bit vad händer, where are we now in terms of Swedish totalförsvar? Where are we now? Where do we want to go? So that is the morning sessions. And I just want to make a pause here and explain the structure. The event's program will start with plenary sessions, which are these sessions that are common to everybody that are attending the event. So there it's going to be everybody who has a conference ticket will be listening to these sessions. These will take place in the morning or at the beginning of the morning. And then the event will divide into tracks. So our visitors will have 3 different tracks to choose from. They're going to listen to 2 different sessions in the track, tracks one after the other. And then the event goes back into the plenary sessions, which are the sessions common for everyone. So plenary, 3 tracks to choose from, and then plenary again. So this is the morning of the plenary sessions. And then the afternoon of the plenary sessions, we'll be looking at how prepared we are. The first session will be looking at from a local point of view. And then the second session is looking at preparedness from a regional point of view. That's day one. Focus, again, just to repeat, Swedish totalförsvar. Day 2 is samhällssäkerhet i kris och krig. So back to the more classical samhällssäkerhet. We will start the day with a representative from MSB talking about how prepared are we when things do not go to plan. So when crisis and catastrophe happens, again, it will be a representation from MSB covering this topic. Then we are going to be looking at how prepared we are from a civil point of view, and here we have a lot to learn from Ukraine. So we will get best practice from that nation. Then we are looking at what resources do we need in crisis and war. This topic, I believe, will go in a little bit into the area of allmänheten och individen, so the public and the individual, because that is one of our most important resources when it comes to crisis and war. And that's actually going to be one of the tracks. So I'll go through that in a minute. Civil defense, what is actually our mission? And then we are ending it with 3 best practices. So three measures that need to be taken in order to create a safer Sweden. So that's it. Those are the plenar sessions. Day 1, Sveriges totalförsvar. Day 2, samhällssäkerhet. Now I'm just going to quickly talk you through the tracks. The tracks, as I said before, allmänheten och individen, is Mikaela from Sveriges Kommuner och Regioner, it's the public and the individual. Extremely relevant topic right now, especially as we have a more bipolarized society. This becomes more and more of an issue. We need to kind of all team up so that we are working towards the same goal, and don't have different agendas. The second track is försörjningsförmåga. I always call this in English supply chain, but then I was doing some translating and it's not quite clear if it is purely supply chain. So I just left it in Swedish since I'm talking to a Swedish gang. And then the second track is going to be cybersecurity and psychological defense, where Carl Heath from RISE is putting together the program. Quickly, I'm just going to go through the tracks. Allmänheten och individen, it's basically, as the name says, how do we reach the individual? How prepared are we on an individual basis? So any of you that, for example, are in the meeting that are working with food supplies, I know there's one of you in here or several of you in here, take that in consideration that the visitors are going to come out of a session where they are going to be thinking about exactly the topic that, or exactly the issue that you solve. So just again, scan the program and find out where you solve one of these issues so that you can continue the dialogue. How do we reach the public? Here it will be probably representation from Swedish radio, amongst other, and examples of how kommunen have been working to make their medborgare more engaged, to reach out to them at least. And then we're going to be looking at who is it that actually wants to volunteer and what is it that drives us. I'm going to move on. If we look at the second track, which is supply chain, our wonderful Freddie is going to be the one who's putting this together. And we are looking at how does the supply chain look from an authority's point of view. So it's going to be representation from different myndigheter. Then we're going to look at it from the public sector point of view. And this, again, is extremely important because it's actually the public sector. It's solutions like the ones you have that make us get our water, or help us get our water, help us get our food, help us have electricity, etc., etc. So this is really where our exhibitors even more come into play, because it is the public's, this should be private sector, private sector point of view. Because it's private sector who is responsible pretty much for our supply chain. And then how do we secure the supply chain in military defense? And then the one that I think is the most exciting is how do we innovate to bring our supply closer to home, become less dependent on chips from China, become less dependent on wheat from Ukraine, and these kind of things, so that we can be more sustainable and dependent as a nation. And let's see what technology can do for us and how AI can change this to guarantee supply. If the last track is cybersecurity and psychological defense, Katarina will be the moderator. And here it's another word that I don't really dare to translate. And you will know what it means, so I don't think I need to, but how do we become more resilient against disinformation, basically? Because they're attacking us left, right, and center with this right now. And the more digital we become, the more time on our phones, the more susceptible we become to this. So it becomes a more and more easy target. And it's the same thing with the whole cybersecurity, as you all know. The more digital infrastructure we have, the more vulnerable we have. And this is why this is a continuous pressing issue when it comes to digitalization of Sweden's total defense. If we look at the second track will be cybersecurity, what can we learn? How do we recover from previous attacks and what can we learn from them? Which leads us into the next session. How do we prepare for the future threats based on what we've learned from previous behaviors? And which are the society's weakest links? I just want to stop there and say something. I know that some of you have sent me suggestions to be on the program, and they have been taken in consideration. And I'm gonna, when I show you the actual exhibition, I'm gonna explain what we're doing. And it's likely that you will be contacted soon to present your ideas and your suggestions, perhaps in another thought. Not another thought, in another format. But I will just get to this in a minute. But again, I just want to say thank you to everybody who sends suggestions for content. And for next year, because everything came a little bit late, because the program gets set quite early, but for next year we will have a deadline for when you can apply to contribute with content to make it more to basically increase the opportunity for us to be able to offer you a spot on the program. And we're also thinking that we might have an exhibitor stage, because I mean, you guys are experts, you're innovating, you're changing the way things are done, and this should be heard. So there's room for improvement on how we can involve you in the program, but this will have to be next year, except for this idea that I'm going to present to you in a minute. Perfect.
Får jag sticka in en sak bara, Olivia?
Ja.
Ja, är det okej? Eller, och jag såg att Lasse hade en fråga också.
Ja.
Kanske när jag ändå har avbrutit att du kan ta, Lasse.
Ja, jag tänkte bara säga, ja, det blev ju väldigt annorlunda i år. För att när man fick ut inriktningen på mässan så var i princip programmet satt. Så man hade ingen möjlighet att göra några inspel i år. Och det gör ju att delaktigheten känns lite sådär detta år, kan jag säga.
Lasse,
höll jag på att säga. Ja.
I just want to apologize that was the case, and that's why for 2025 we are looking at different ways that we can work together to raise awareness on what you do, because we know how important it is. Pernilla, vill du flika in?
Ja, förlåt, nu släppte jag in en fråga. Jag vet att du sa att vi skulle ta dem på slutet. Ja. Jag tänker det gör vi med resten av frågorna sen, så öppnar vi upp för frågestund. Men jag tänkte komplettera bara nu den här jättebra dragningen som du gjorde av programmet, Olivia. Att, Julia, du har ju ställt samman en översikt av programmet i en pdf som ligger på webbsidan. Det kan ju kanske vara bra att veta att det finns en sammanställning där man också ser start- och sluttider för varje programpunkt. Och när det också är tider för pauser och besöka utställningen och luncher och sådär, man vill planera det. Så att vi kan ju skicka med en länk, Olivia, till den sammanställningen.
That I'll just attach the PDF when I send all the information after the event.
Perfekt, så att ni vet att ni får den sen. Ja. Förlåt, du får jättegärna fortsätta.
Thank you, it's good though, because it actually helps for me to breathe, Pernilla. So thanks for that.
Inga problem.
Tack. The exhibition, we are super excited. The exhibition is almost sold out. For those of you who are not familiar with the space, the entrance is here. The plenar sessions, those that I mentioned that are common to everybody, morning and ending sessions will be taking place here in M2. The tracks will be taking place here. The food will be served. Do you see my mouse? Or am I the only person who's seeing this movement? Pernilla, do you see my mouse?
Jag ser inte den.
Nej, jag ser inte heller den.
Jo, det.
Bra. The food will be served here. This event needs to be all about networking because, as I mentioned before, it's all about collaboration. So we would like to increase the moments where people can talk to each other as much as possible. So instead of having a seated lunch, we're going to have like a moving lunch. So there will be tables around the hallways, and the lunch will be served in the shape of a lunchbox. That doesn't sound so sexy, but basically it's going to be a movable lunch is what I'm trying to say. What I was saying before about the program, In this down here D10, we will have our wonderful and so important frivilliga försvarsorganisationer represented, but also we're going to have säkerhet och försvarsföretagarna on site. And I know that like 50% of our exhibitors are actually members of this wonderful organization. And what they are going to have, I'm super excited to present, is SOFA. So here they will be interviewing exhibitors, and basically in the interviews will be in line with what is being presented on the program. So for example, one of our exhibitors, I'm not going to say who it is, but one of our exhibitors have a report on how prepared we are as individuals. They've done this massive survey and they've got loads of insights on how prepared are Swedish individuals for crisis and catastrophe and war, etc. And one of the topics, as we saw before, is allmänheten och individen. So and the first topic there is hur förberedd är du? So it makes super much sense then to have an interview after this session on SOFA where this company can present this survey. So that is a bit the idea, to have continuation from what's being said in the program being presented here. And for those of you who have sent me suggestions to speak, I have forwarded all of these to SOF. So they will hopefully be contacting you. I've had quite a few suggestions, so not everybody can be chosen. So we will be choosing in forms of relevance. The content needs to match. And this also takes me a little bit already in line with what you do in your stand. Again, what I said before, it's not just speaking on a stage where you can get your message out. There's many ways in which you can get your message out. So think about that in your stand as well. Okay. Again, this leads me into that the exhibition needs to be interactive. If people do not talk to each other at this event, nothing will happen, and we might as well pull the plug and cancel the whole thing. And we know that for our visitors, the most important thing is the networking part, because we need to learn from each other. So let's make sure it's like I always say this, we provide the platform, you provide the magic. So please, I ask you to provide our visitors with the best knowledgeable experience that you can. And for this to happen, I think, I don't know if it's obvious now what I'm going to say, but sometimes it's really important to be refreshed with the obvious. So I would really like to for you to think about, ahead of the 19th of March, what is your role in society, really? Because you guys are heroes. You guys preserve our society. You make us be able to go to get to treatment, to make sure that the Wi-Fi is working at Karolinska, all these kind of essential things. So think, what is the purpose of your existence and where you are in the chain? Are you helping to prevent something from happening, like maybe in the case of cybersecurity? Do you repair or do you help recover? Think about where you are in that track. And then I ask you to think about the effect of what you do rather than the solution itself. I was thinking, like, an example, like this is the solution is the pen, but the effect is the fact that I can write. So let's think less about the pen and think more about the beautiful writing that I can do with a pen, because that is how you solve their challenges. I think they're less interested in the product and more interested in the effect. I know that they're less interested in the product and more interested on how that product applies to them. So therefore, the effect of your product. Any deadlines for ordering? I would like you to work with this messaging in your stand so that it's really clear when our visitors walk in what your role is. And the deadline for any print orders, we work a lot, my exhibitors for personal och chef work a lot with foliering. So if you want to do any foliering, think about what your message is as soon as possible. If you don't already know what your message is, which probably most of you do. And then so the deadline for the printing is the 9th of February, and the deadline for any other stand orders is on the 16th of February. And when it comes again back to the stand, this is a picture from our HR event that took place in September, and something that again, if you can you see my mouse, Julia? Yeah. Julia, do you see my mouse?
Inte riktigt än, va?
Oj, jag hade inte micken på.
Okay.
Ja,
Nu,
ja,
så
det
är du liten.
So for example, these are two walls that you have here. Personio just decided to plaster their logo on the wall, which is fantastic, but it doesn't say much about how Personio helps our visitors. But then we have assets. Ka-ching! Vi hjälper er with everything from economy, learn, and HR. Well, that is already getting closer to give me an understanding of why I should go and talk to assets. And again, I would also think about the effect of what you do when you're working with this wording. So if I was working with cybersecurity, I don't think I would write, we can help you with cybersecurity. I would go more for something like, we guarantee continuity, because that is effect of having cybersecurity in place. So think a little bit about this messaging. And if you have any questions, I love to bolla grejer. So if you have any questions or any thoughts on how you would like to do this, or your wording, let me know, because I also know you also know this as well, but we have quite a broad perspective on what the challenges are for our target audience. So I can give you some insights there as well. Another nice example. I like this. This company works with recruitment. This is like one of the biggest recruiters. But look at this. We don't help you. They don't mention recruitment there, but they mention the effect of what happens when you recruit. We help and organizations grow. That's a bit funny. We help organizations grow is what I read initially. We help people and organizations grow. Bang. There is the effect of what they do. So back to your role in this, focus more on their problems and less focus more on maybe what they want to hear rather than what you want to tell them. And in order to focus on what they want to hear, you need to find out what their problems is. So ask many questions. And last but not least, when it comes to the exhibition, really try to provide them a memorable experience because that's what they're going to take home. That's what's going to remember. And the most important thing, I know that you have super sophisticated solutions, but if you want to do business with anyone, it's about how you make them feel. And if you can make them feel good on site, trust me, your follow-up meeting with them will be much more successful. So focus more on making them feel good, making them like you, but more importantly, making them trust you, so that afterwards you can I shouldn't say selling, I should say helping, so that afterwards you can help them. And this is an example from, again, Personal Chef, of different funny experiences that our exhibitors provided our visitors. All sorts of games. It can be a quiz, it can be a challenge, it can be something that gives them a good time. And if you can provide an experience for them that helps them understand your business at the same time as having fun, then you have a super winning concept. So if it can be related to what would happen if the Wi-Fi went at Karolinska, or what would happen, I don't know, there's a lot of worst case scenarios. So think of these, and if you can make like a game or something funny and related to that, or some kind of survey where you can get some insights of what keeps them most awake at night. Is it actually that someone turns out the electricity, or is it that the Wi-Fi or the digital infrastructure dissipates? There's many things that can go wrong. So think about how you can help them understand how you can help them, basically.
Får jag sticka in en grej här bara?
Ja, kör Pernilla.
Använd Olivia. Alltså du är ju ett kreativt monster. Så att jag tänker verkligen, sitt inte och liksom sliter i håret för att ni inte kommer på kreativa lösningar här. Utan känner ni så, lyft luren och ring Olivia, så får ni ett kanonbollplank där. Så det är ju verkligen ett tips.
You will get me laying in bed at night thinking about how I can help you, because this is what I do. I just lay in bed and come up with these things because I like it. So if you have something spectacular going on in your stand, which I hope that most of you do, we can help you drive traffic to your stand, so we can help you raise awareness of your activity. There's posters in the toilet, and I know it's not maybe so sexy to have a poster in the toilet, but I can tell you one thing, everybody will see it because everybody needs to go. You can have bioreklam. There's lots of space where we can drive traffic to your stand, and we can mention, oh, go and visit Combitech, they have a competition, anything, any quote, any solution, that if you have a specific product that you want to push extra, just let us know, and we can see how we can raise awareness for this on site. So from the minute the visitors walk in, they know that if they want the best on-site experience, they need to go to your stand. Or if you have the best coffee, or if you, I don't know what, that's the thing, I don't know what you're planning to do with your stands, so I can't really come up with anything creative right now. So I would really appreciate if you let us know what you plan to do with your stand. Bang. So tell us first of all how you're planning to use your stand, so that we can tell our visitors, but so that you can also tell the visitors. And here is how we're going to tell the visitors. We're going to raise awareness about your participation before the event. You can raise awareness as well. So you can raise awareness on social media, in your emails. You can highlight, again, like what I said, are you going to have a competition there? Are you going to have an activity? Are you going to have a magician? I don't know what you're planning to do again, so please let me know so that I can help you let them know. In order to promote your participation and speak, raise awareness that you're there, use your personal banner, and I will show you in my EasyFest where to find the personal banner. Use it on the website, on the email, on your LinkedIn, together with, this is the super fun thing, and it's something that we haven't had before, but I know that all our exhibitors at Personalchef love this. And I just want to go back to something. We live in a digital society where we never meet face to face. And what we provide you is the opportunity to meet your customers and prospects face to face. And there is something beautiful that happens when people meet face to face. So it would be sad if you put all this effort into your stand, if we put all our effort into the program and create this nice event, and you don't get a chance to meet your customers or prospects there. I think this is something that you should be really proud of being a part of. I think everybody should be proud of being a part of this, because it's something that's super important right now. You just need to turn on the news to understand why we organize this event. So make sure to spread the word and get your customers there. And you can think, yeah, but what if they meet the competition? Well, do you know what? They can always meet the competition. So this is why you need to show why you're better than your competitor. So in order for you to do this, we have a personal invitation link, and I'll show you how to find it in my EasyFairs. And the beautiful thing with this invitation link is that, number one, it can either be for a conference ticket, where obviously they're going to need to pay. It's not a free it's not a free pass, but it will come from you that they should come to the event. But also there's another registration link, which is just to come as a normal mässbesökare. So they've got two options when they open this link, to either sign up as a mässbesökare or as a conference ticket. And the wonderful thing is that you can make as many links as you want to. So you can tailor the links for, if I was tailoring them, I'd call them Olivia's VIPs, Olivia's prospects, Olivia's top 10, so that when you're using these links in your campaign, you will be able, in my EasyFest, to follow up who has signed up with your link and which link they're using. So you can even measure which campaigns are more successful. Let me just think another thing also, and you can track everybody who then, again, everybody who signs up using your link will become your data. And obviously, if you send the link to your database, then these people are already your database. But if you use this link, for example, on LinkedIn or on other channels, and somebody just goes and signs up, they will become your lead, and you will see all the contact details of everybody who signed up. So if I were you, I would go bananas on LinkedIn. That's what our exhibitors at Personalchef did. They were promoting the event like crazy. They made videos. They became basically our marketeers, and they all got so many leads from LinkedIn. So if I were you, I'd really think about how you can get leads already before the event. And you, as I mentioned, you can track the results, but you can also even set up so that you can get an SMS notification when the person walks through the door. So, and that's a little bit creepy, but it's also nice to know if you have food between your teeth, if your lipstick is not on your lips, if your hair is not in place. So it's nice to know when your most important prospect or client is walking through the door, so that you can polish yourself up, go to your stand and look pretty waiting for them. Whew. I need to hurry up a bit because I'm talking too much. This is an example of how our exhibitor at Personal Chef made a newsletter. They used the link. If you need any help making this newsletters, our beautiful Julia can help you with it. I can help you with it too. And if we even have another service that you can send us your database and we send the invitation to your whole database, and we will never keep your database. Your database will just get erased from our system as soon as we've sent the email. So we can invite them on your behalf with your invitation link so that you can then track and see who has signed up with the link. Okay? Julia, is there anything to add? If there is, add super quickly because I'm running out of time.
Ja, nej, men jag kan bara lägga till, datan försvinner efter mässan.
Ja.
Så om vi, ja, det beror lite på när vi skickar mejlet, men bara för att tydliggöra. Och sen så, ja, nej men det var väl det, allt är GDPR säkert.
Toppen.
Så vi
Tack,
hjälper
Julia.
er med det. Ja.
Now we're almost at the end of the meeting. This is pretty much the last 3 slides, and this is the most important part. So please have a sip of your coffee, put your back straight and listen really carefully, because this is what you pay for. You pay for leads. I mean, you pay to have a stand, but the stand means leads. Again, back to the product and the effect. Let's talk about the effect of you being with us, and that is you getting leads. And there's 2 ways in which you can get leads. One is a smart badge reader, which is also for information distribution. And then you have Visit Connect, which is purely for getting leads. Now, the smart badge reader is actually more for our visitors because it helps them gather information from each exhibitor without having to carry a bunch of brochures. And what happens is that you will have a device in your booth which is connected to your exhibitor profile. And when the visitors have a little chip in their badge. So say they walk past your stand and they think, they're solving one of my challenges. Then they can just scan your smart badge reader and they will get several emails with links to your exhibitor profile. So basically, this is a way of them getting information about what you do without the papers. And what you will get at the end of the event in my easy phase is a list of everybody who has touched your booth. And you get all the contact details as well. But the thing with this is that the only thing that you're going to know about each lead is that they have been at your booth. And so this is where it's also smart. I'll go into that in a minute. But the other way that you are going to get leads is something called Visit Connect. And this is how I see the 2 things. I would say Smart Badge Reader is almost like speed dating because you have not so much clue about each person. But the Visit Connect is for potential marriage material, because with this, when you scan the visitor's badge, you can add notes, you can set up a preset questionnaire, you can even take a picture if you want to be a bit, I wouldn't take a picture of them. But there's several things. It's a much more sophisticated lead capturing process that will give you much more insight at the end of the event. I'm just going to go through this again because this is what you pay for. Smart Badge Reader, for those of you who have not seen this beautiful device, it looks like this. It's going to be on your booth and it needs to be somewhere visible because you don't want somebody climbing over your booth in order to touch it. The visitor's chip sits here, it touches it, and that's when the magic happens. So as said, it's a wireless sensor for you to gather leads and drive traffic to your exhibitor profile. When the visitors touch it with their smart badge, they will receive an email with a link to your exhibitor profile. They won't receive one, they will receive several. With this, you can segment your leads, and this is when the magic happens. You can have several readers. So say you have a competition going on or some experience going on, which after this meeting, I hope you really think about having. You can attach the smart badge reader to the competition or to the experience, whatever it may be that you are doing. So you can have several of these readers. In some of your packages, you have EasyGo Plus. So some of you already have 2 readers. Some of you only have 1 reader, and you can see in my EasyFairs if you have the package EasyGo Leads, which means you only have 1 reader, but don't worry, you can get more readers. Or you can see if you have 2 readers. EasyGo Leads is 1 reader, EasyGo Plus is 2 readers. And the reason why I think it's smart to have several readers is because what I said before, you don't know so much about these people except for that they have scanned your booth. But if you're working with several products, if you work with a product for secure communication and a product in another area of your business, then you can you can attach each reader to a specific product, so that after the event, when you have your lead list, you can see this list of people are interested in product A, this list of people are interested in product B, or this list of people did the competition, this list of people were interested in the company as a whole. So this is a smart way of becoming more knowledgeable with your leads after the event. Again, you'll be able to download the details of the visitors who have scanned your reader. Visit Connect, I need to go super quick now. It's a web application, as I said. You can qualify the leads with the preset questionnaire. I will teach you how to set up this questionnaire. It's I would ask questions like, do they want a meeting? Yes, no. Would they like to be followed up? Are they a decision maker? Which product are they interested? So that after the event, you want to follow up with the people that want a meeting first. You want to be smart with your follow-up, and the more information you have about them, the smarter you can be. Again, you can rate the lead, make a personal note, and you'll be able to download the details after the event, and you can see who has been scanning who. So you could see like Johan's leads or Olivia's leads. So it's much easier for you to follow up. And how you access it, you will find the link to it on your registration confirmation, and this will be sent to you 1 day before the event as well. And I ask you, I'm going to bang on about this in the next meeting, but you need to have it set up. I mean, you don't need to, but it's great if you have it set up before the event so that you don't waste your precious time on site with our experts helping you with it. We have experts on site. It's not about that, but it's more about time is precious and we want you to use it wisely when you are with us. But I'll go through this in the next meeting. Again, if you want an extra reader, which I would, because it's a super good way to segment your leads, you can upgrade. Those of you who have the EasyGo Leads package, you're more than welcome to upgrade to the EasyGo Plus package. And this means you will get 1 extra reader. It also means that you get your own logo on the exhibitor list. And trust me, it looks nice to have your logo there. And you can enhance your company profile with a video header, so you will stand out on the exhibitor list. Around 50% of you already have the EasyGo Plus package. For those who have leads that wish to upgrade, just hojta till, and I'm more than happy to do it. Obviously, there is a fee involved in this, and it's 4,000 crowns. That's it from me, but I don't want to say just from me, that's it from the team. We've got Julia in marketing, who is fantastic. We've got Michaela, who is the queen of content, putting together the program. You've got yours truly. Then we have Pernilla, who you've already met, a project manager, and then we have our wonderful boss lady, our leader, Helen Pratt, who takes care of all of us and makes sure that we are good. So thank you from me, thank you from the team. I hope you are not exhausted. I hope you are excited. And I hope we have a great couple of days together. And last of all, I think a lot about like purpose and what it is that we do in life. And you guys do something really important for all of our lives, for the whole of society. So I just want to, on behalf of me and the team, thank you for making it possible for us to live in harmony. So